New audio log detected. Time since last audio log, 2 weeks, playing now. I have ran into the young gunslinger known as the orphan in the time since my last log. I can't say I'm shocked. That damn kid is among the boldest of us, I'll give him that. You know, if that Count jackass thought I was a problem, he hasn't seen the warpaths that kid can carve. He has only been here a week and already the news is going off about this Rouge teen who is going on a murder spree. And don't even ask me what he does to kill those things. From personal experience, it takes hours to kill just one vampire. And they more likely than not get away before you can kill them. But then again, considering that kid grew up fighting killer robots, it's not shocking that he has taken up torturing vampires when the sun goes down. And to think he doesn't even have a unique power set, the orphan only needs his gun and wits. He has come a long way since the days of his timeline. And yet that's the kicker, isn't it? The orphan who can never go back to his place and time. Forced to adopt a divergent timeline as his own. No doubt there is still rage in that kid from the war still left over. That war did a number on all of us. Lots of Vanjikis and their timelines are left in ruin to never be saved. That imposter did a lot of damage. Time flow in the multiverse was already messed up, but that war, I dare say it broke the very laws that hold time together. We used to need to repeat events to keep time stable. And while we can still go forwards and backward in time, ever since that damn false storyteller did what he did, Vanjikis and our actions no longer dignify nor determine the outcome of events. We have to fight harder and faster than ever, but wiser as well. In a way, the false storyteller and the imposter achieved their goal. While they didn't wipe us out, they did succeed in making sure we were no longer the linchpin of the multiverse. By creating a war that occurred in every point and time in every known universe, by involving so many different groups and factions, by involving so many people, by inserting a divergent event that affected the whole multiverse. I'd argue we no longer have enough core timelines left to determine how the multiverse grows. I say this because the events I just mentioned might be the reason we find ourselves in the current gaping maw we stare down. If every timeline, even the core ones, are now permanently in a divergent state, then anything is possible. These vampires might not even be the end of our issues. If there's a vampire timeline, then who's to say there isn't a Dogman timeline? Or one of witchcraft? Perhaps it's possible there are other versions of the undead we already fought, such as the Wendigos or Skinwalkers. If there's already one mutated timeline where Earth isn't dominated by humans, then that means there is more likely than not a whole laundry list of dark timelines out there. Then that must also means this isn't the only non-human Vanjik out there. Even now we are still fighting an imposter. And we all know where there is one imposter, another is quickly following behind. No matter now, I guess. We won't get anything done pondering the what ifs. For now I need to face some cold reality. The reality that the search for this literal underground network is becoming fruitless. Tracking heat signatures and scanning the local terrain for entrances to this network has gotten me nowhere. In the time I have been here, I have combed over every notable part of the county and I have found nothing. Wait. What if I'm going about this the wrong way? I'm looking for clues in a county run by a version of me. Why am I looking in all the places I would suspect myself to look? If I ran Lancaster as a king, where would I hide my slaves? As a matter of fact, where did all the people of my nation store such a thing when such a practice was common? They would store them close at hand, yet far enough away to where you don't have to look at them if you don't want to. My species would always stow people away in shacks and cabins, often on large plains of farmland where they could be worked the best out of sight. Other times in other nations these people would be forced to work on ships out at sea where they could serve a nation where they can't be seen. So if I'm to apply the former practices of my species to the logic of vampires, then where would these humans be stored away at? These vamps seem to, although not required, tend to enjoy the blood of humans and most often seem to hunt them in their spare time. Ignoring the ones they hunt on the surface, there has to be a place they organize to do so. A place that leads underground. A place my heat sensors wouldn't reach. A place where there are so many man-made structures that my land and ground scanners wouldn't be able to ascertain the true structure of said underground properly. Like a city. Far enough away where they're out of sight, yet close enough to where they are useful. Where in the city would they have such infrastructure to support such a thing? Where could such creatures that care little for life keep such a necessity for a race and species they care so little for? In my time we used doctors' offices and hospitals to keep humans alive at the lowest conditions. Hospitals do have complex interior designs, along with the fact that many do have sprawling underground facilities. Actually, now that I think about it, Lancaster General Hospital is still in this timeline. Okay, it's just a theory. But let's find out. Contacting Loom Mill. Eco. Do you read me?
Yes, I read you loud and clear. Do you need field assistance?
No, tonight has been quiet, but I need some data. Can you give me the number of 911 calls throughout the day? From there I need to know how many of those are medical emergencies, and from there I need to know how many people are sent to Lancaster General Hospital. Can you hack the system?
That's an easy one. I'd figure you would have more faith in me, Vanjik, after all I used to be hacker unit during the war. It seems like 911 is underutilized in this timeline. It seems like less than 100 calls are made in a day. Most are for fire, lots of small house fires mostly. Some are for police, most are currently referring to sightings of our orphaned friend. That's odd, there's no calls for medical. I'm going to do a deeper search. Actually, there has been no medical calls for the past half year according to the records I have. Why do they need a hospital if no one needs to use it?
That's what I want to know. Thanks, Eco. So we have a city full of vampires, which a central hospital that is seemingly empty. A hospital with life-saving equipment for people who don't need it? Or rather, we have a fear box filled with equipment used to keep slaves alive. A place where they are close enough to be useful, yet far enough to be out of sight. Tell me, nightmares. Are you ready for me? Because I am coming for you. Me and the orphan are coming for you. End audio log.